So yeah, I'll start by reading from the first chapter. It's on page 2. Actually, it's the very second poem. Winterla எழுதுனது தான். So first Tamil version படிச்சிட்டு then I'll read the English version of it. நான் புல்வெளியோ நீ உறைபனியோ, நான் புல்வெளியோ நீ உறைபனியோ, நீ என்னை சூழ உன் குளிர் என்னை சிலிர்க்க, என் சிறு மூச்சும் உனக்கு அனலோ, கதிரவன் வந்தால் உன்னை நான் இழப்பேன் என்று அஞ்சுவதோ, இல்லையேல் உன் குளிர் என் வேர்வரை சென்று என்னையும் உறைபனியாக மாற்றுமோ, கதிரவன் வந்தால் உன்னை நான் இழப்பேன் என்று அஞ்சுவதோ, இல்லையேல் உன் குளிர் என் வேர்வரை சென்று என்னையும் உறைபனியாகுமோ. அறிந்தும் அறியாததும் அவ்வாறே ஆகட்டும், ஏனெனில் இருவரும் உருக ஒன்றாக மாய்வோமே. அறிந்தும் அறியாததும் அவ்வாறே ஆகட்டும், ஏனெனில் இருவரும் உருக ஒன்றாகவே மாய்வோமே. அறியேன், நான் புல் அல்ல மரம் என நான் அறிவேன். காலமும் கதிரவனும் திட்டமிட்டு உன்னை இழக்கச் செய்யினும், காலமும் கதிரவனும் திட்டமிட்டு உன்னை இழக்கச் செய்யினும், என் வேருக்கு நீர் விட்டாய், காத்திருப்பேன் உனக்கு நன்றி சொல்லி. Now the English version. I am the freshly mowed lawn, and you were the sparkly midnight frost. I tremble in your hug, but my breath is your fireplace. When the dawn rises, you'd rather be in ashes, for your bitterness would capture my soul, turning me into you. When the dawn rises, you would rather be in ashes, for your bitterness would capture my soul, turning me into you. Be it the unknown unknowns, for the worst and the best is to unite us in the death. Be it the unknown unknowns, for the worst and the best is to unite us in the death. Naive I was to see my worth, for I am the tree, not a grass. How naive. Time and space could break our hearts, yet you filled my soul with all of yours. Naive I may be, but grateful too, for that magical night till eternity. Okay. So this one, definitely it's something about a person, how we always think that நம்ம வந்து ஒருத்தங்களோட கேரக்டர் வந்து நம்ம அப்படியே உள்வாங்கிக்கிறோம், how we can observe someone's character அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இது எழுதுனது. But we never actually become another person, however cold they may be, however cruel, rude, whatever the other person's character can be, we don't actually become that other person because we are stronger than other person. அந்த ஒரு ஆஸ்பெக்ட்ல தான் இது எழுதுனது. ஸோ ஒருத்தங்களோட நேச்சரை வந்து நம்ம எவ்வளோதான் எடுத்துக்கிட்டாலும் நம்ம we are still stronger than that அப்படின்ற ஒரு கான்செப்ட்ல எழுதுனது இது. If you have any questions or anything, shoot now.
உனக்கு ஜெனரலா எவ்வளோ லைக் உடனே பட்டுன்னு வந்துருமா அந்த லைக் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் இல்ல யோசிச்சு எழுதுவியா? How do you usually write?
Usually யோசிச்சுதான், lot of thinking actually. நான் வந்து யோசிச்சா உடனே எழுதணும் அப்படின்னு கிடையாது. It will be in the back of my head, and again like it's not an isolated incident or anything like that. Also sometimes இப்போ வந்து snowflake பார்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னா we'll feel something, but அதை உடனே ஏதாவது டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு கிடையாது. I'll carry that feeling, and then sometime later I'll try to think about it.
Good. When எப்போ எழுத ஆரம்பிச்ச?
Actually ரொம்ப வருஷமா.
அப்படியா?
Yeah, this particular one I actually wrote it in Toledo, but it's been like a couple years or something before, like 2018 I want to say.
டேலண்ட் ஒளிச்சு வச்சுட்டு இருந்தே காமிச்சா இத
நாங்க
தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா நாங்க
basically
எத்தனை தமிழ் இவெண்ட்ல யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கலாம்.
ரொம்ப அமைதி.
ஐயோ ஓகே ஃபைட் கண்டினியூ.
உண்மையை சொன்னீங்க.
டெஃபினெட்லி. ஓகே
I think ஃபரினா மியூட்ல இருக்காங்க, இத சொல்ல வராங்க.
It was really nice, Kamachi.
Thank you.
அவ்வளோ நாள் ஆச்சுன்னு நான் நினைச்சு கூட பார்க்கல. நான் என்னமோ இப்ப எழுதின மாதிரி இருக்குது. But it was really nice.
To be fresh.
எனக்கும் போயதுக்கும் ரொம்ப தூரம், but you did a great job.
Thank you.
It was really nice.
ஷர்மிளா.
எனக்கும் ரீடிங்க்குமே ரொம்ப தூரம் காமிச்சு. ஆனா வந்து நீ தமிழ்ல படிச்சது வந்து ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது எனக்கு. கேட்கறதுக்கு ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு. இங்கிலீஷ் ஆல்சோ இஸ் ரியலி குட்.
Thank you.
Especially translating is தமிழ்ல இருந்து மாத்தும்போது உங்களுக்கு அது ஒரு it takes time, right? Especially the words. It was nice.
Thank you.
நீங்க எத்தனை poems? நான் இன்னும் புக் வாங்கல அவள்கிட்ட இருந்து. Once I get it, I will know. How many poems you did?
This book. I tried to pick them out based on the seasons. Editing was quite hard, so I tried to pick out based on the seasons, how to make sure it is relatable. I tried to pick them. So yeah, there are 96, and there are also some essays. Actually, there are 7 essays in this book. Those are like short essays. Those would still fall under like poetry because it is kindling, but they are not like a novel type. They are short essays. But yeah. Okay, so that was from winter. So yeah, it was a little bit cold. And now I want to go on to like spring. And idella konja na corona topics na choose panni pick panni potiruken because I want to still like keep it relatable. And when I had corona items, I didn't want to like skip them. I wanted to put them in this one. So this second one is on page 40 that I want to read today. It's from chapter Spring, page number 40. It's called Shooting Star. Again, this one's a bilingual. It has both Tamil and English rendition. Okay, now Tamil la padikran. Shivan ஏனோ வளர்பிறை கொண்டான், அவன் கோபத்திற்கு இணங்க அதுவும் அனல் போன்று தோன்றினான். சிவன் ஏனோ வளர்பிறை கொண்டான், அவன் கோபத்திற்கு இணங்க அதுவும் அனல் போன்று தோன்றினான். அருகே ஒரு மின்மினி பூச்சி வந்ததும் கண்களை மூடிக்கொண்டான். இப்பூலோகமே இருள் சூழ்ந்ததடா. நீ கண் சிமிட்டும் நொடியினிலே கொரோனாவால் நடுங்க ஆளில்லை. நீ கண் சிமிட்டும் நொடியினிலே கொரோனாவால் நடுங்க ஆளில்லை. விழிப்பாயோ சிவனே, சிரிப்பாயோ பிரம்மனே. And now the English version. Why did Lord Shiva adorn the crescent moon? Mr. Moon decided no longer to be cool. So, to suit his anger, he rehashed his color soon. So, to suit his anger, he rehashed his color soon. In the quiet hours, watching an airplane fly by, just like a shooting star in the night sky. Oh, was that in Vex that he closed his eyes? Oh, was that in Vex that he closed his eyes? How he did not know there were some sad skies. All it took was a blink to To wrap this world in Corona's wrath. All it took was a blink to wrap this world in Corona's wrath. Will Lord Shiva help me cross this chasm, or will Lord Brahma merely smirk in sarcasm?
Really good, Kims.
So yeah, this one definitely wrote it during COVID times, when we had no idea what's going on around the world. And it's based on the concept that Lord Shiva can be angry, and it's kind of questioning both of them. Like Lord Shiva is the god of destroyer, so I don't know if this was all from him, or if Lord Brahma, who's like the creator, if it's just another play from the creator, because somehow COVID was created, but then it's destroying. So I wanted to put those things in words. So that's how this one's born. Yeah. Okay. I want to read another one actually from Spring. This one called Lockdown Got Keys to My Heart, page number 55 actually. So on page 55, again, there's Tamil and then the English version. I'll start with the Tamil. This is from Spring too. So புல்வெளிகள் சிலிர்த்தது கடற்கரை கரைந்ததில். புல்வெளிகள் சிலிர்த்தது கடற்கரை கரைந்ததில். இன்று உலகை பூட்டியதில் நாம் மரம் திறந்தேனோ. இன்று உலகை பூட்டியதில் நான் மனம் திறந்தேனோ. பனித்துளி கரைய கண்ணீரும் உருகியதோ. மகிழ்ந்துண்டு வாழ நட்பும் உணர்ந்ததோ. பனித்துளி கரைய கண்ணீரும் உருகியதோ. மகிழ்ந்துண்டு வாழ நட்பும் உணர்ந்ததோ. And now the English one. Hush hushed the lush green lawns. Hush hushed the lush green lawns. Today the restless seas dissolved. Did hearts open up in warmth just as the world closed its doors? This spring, snow melting away as tears. Did hearts open up in warmth just as the world closed its doors? This spring, snow melting away as tears. Beyond fears to feast as friends is best. Beyond fears to feast as friends is best. And again, this was from like Corona times, so. Okay. Any questions, comments, doubts?
Is there a stronger emotion in you? Like if I were to write poetry, there are certain emotions that take like எனக்கு வந்து 5 minutesல வந்து ரொம்ப சோகமா இருக்கும்போது கடகடான்னு வரும். But if I really intend to sit and write about something like sorrow, joy, you have different emotions, which every poet has their stronger point, right?
Yeah.
Which is your strongest, and which do you enjoy? Like ஏன்னா நீ எழுதி முடிச்ச உடனே ஒரு ஃபீல் இருக்கும். எழுதும் போது எழுதுறதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி இந்த throttle கிட்ட வந்து you feel like that pressure, and then that releases off once you have written. Like writing can be like a medicine, right? What do you think about it? Or like so there's two questions.
Okay.
So there's two questions to that. One is what is your strongest emotions, and then what is the process of writing and how do you feel after that?
I'll answer the second question first. Writing definitely is therapeutic for me. I enjoy writing, trying to make sense out of what I feel. That's my main goal with writing. And also I like to be a little creative also. So if there is some emotion, I want to test my limits about how far I can translate that into an emotion as words actually. So that's the second question, I guess. But the first question, my strongest emotion, Pata, I want to pick two, joy and actually sadness. I feel a lot. I've understood that over the years that I feel a lot, but I guess I may not express it as like other emotion, other like actions or anything. I think I express it as words. Both like happiness and sadness are both my strongest emotions, actually.
Good. Good to know. Thanks.
Yeah. Kamachi, have you ever written short stories, Madri? The poet is the only one, or
There are some essays. It falls under several things. It can range again, like emotions. The best ones are like from the strangers, actually. So if you ride on like a bus, you ride on like a train, aeroplane, a random person will suddenly say something, and then it'll start giving you imaginations. I think, at least for me, I'll start getting creative with those kind of things. So if I travel in a bus or a train, airplane, something might be going on there, and I'll start putting a story together for it. For example, this is an example. A mom on an airplane trying to pacify a child. So many people would have seen it, but then just the way that she would do it, and the way that kid would respond to it, and then the way air hostess would come try to pacify both of them. So I'll get a story out of that. Just an example again. And the same goes with any kind of situation. And the best ones are actually from like these strangers. You don't know the person. You'll be on the bus, and someone would come and sit next to you. They'll just start a random conversation. Sometimes they ask you for your phone, and then they'll tell their whole life history without even asking, right? நீங்க வந்து கேட்டுக்கவே மாட்டீங்க. பஸ்ல வந்து திடீர்னு வந்து ஏதோ சொல்ல ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க, ஏதோ பண்ணுவாங்க. Then they'll just give all of their life history. Like you'll be their 30-minute free therapist on the bus.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Those are memories too.
Yeah, those are like the best ones. And I think I carry them for a little bit. I try to understand their emotions too. I feel I'm empathetic person, but I don't try to put that on everyone. So I want to put that in some place, and that's how I started writing, putting them in a place. To manage things into a place. அதுதான் வந்து I'm trying to do. And other base பண்ணி கூட I think one of the essays is about that. How summer chapterல வந்து ஒரு essay அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. I wanted to put that there because again during COVID everyone was feeling so many different things. And I wanted to make that point that hey, if you can at least like place your emotions somewhere, that is good enough. அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
Nice.
So it's called You Can Be a Hero. It's on page 92 actually.
Okay.
So that's kind of an essay type. அதை வந்து நீங்க ஷார்ட் ஸ்டோரின்னு சொல்லணும்னா சொல்லலாம், but it's mostly directed towards like the reader. Like இப்போ வந்து it will be directed towards you.
Okay. 92 book வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் பார்க்கறேன்.
Yeah, kandipa. It is like this particular one again, it's from COVID time. I wanted to direct it to like anyone who's reading that, make them feel they are heard emotionally. Like நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி யாராச்சும் கேட்டா we always say we are good, we are good, we are good, but how you feel is valid அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டுக்காக I made that one. So whatever you feel right now, whether you feel let me see, I'll read maybe like just a paragraph from that. Again, this is on page 92, and this is like the third paragraph. So this year, if you are ever asked this question, really mean it. If you are good, even if only for a minute, and the next minute, if you feel anxious, uncertain, terrified, nauseous, blessed, peaceful, ecstatic, angry, helpless, heroic, philanthropic, pathetic, or a turmoil of all these at once, I hope you recognize them and mostly accept yourself for going through that emotion.
Yes. Good. Looking forward to read. Yep.
Okay, Kams.
சொல்லுங்க சுகி.
That sentence is loaded with emotions for me.
That sentence?
Yeah, the one which you kind of read
Yeah.
is loaded with emotions.
Yep.
And I don't know, I never had this much of loaded emotions, and I sometimes, yes, there are a couple of emotions which goes up and down. But do you think a person can feel this much of loaded emotions in the heart?
Oh, well.
Even if you feel just one of these at a point, if someone comes to you and asks you if you're angry, like they don't even have to ask you if you're angry. However you feel at that point, that is valid. No one has to feel all of them at the same time, but there are people who can also feel all of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like highly sensitive people.
Mm-hmm.
They can feel it. Sometimes they cannot even express it. And I think that's the point of that essay. A lot of people cannot express how they feel. When we were kids, we would go like on a roller coaster of emotions, and then we'll start processing them. And some people cannot process them. Some people can process them. But as a young adult, I'm learning every day how to process all these emotions on a day-to-day basis, and how to place them, and not to place on just anybody I see. So, but yeah, if you feel something, just know that it is valid. அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு தான் அந்த line. There is so many emotions actually, and a person can feel anything, and that is still valid. அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பாயிண்ட்டுக்காக தான் அது. They don't have to feel all of them at the same time, but there are people who do too.
They do. I know a girl who does. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு பொண்ணு, அவளுக்கு 25 தான். If you, I've been, around her, and பாத்தீங்கன்னா within 2 hours, you can make out all those feelings, most of them, not like at least 1 or 2 அதில் நீங்க விட்டுக்கலாம். But most of the time I can feel her, how she feels, but she cannot express herself. She is very quiet. But until you talk to her, you don't know what's going on with her. Then slowly you have to bring it out. She'll bring it out, everything. Apana yosipa. I never went through such a thing. But there's a people there around the world. It's a good way. Maybe, I don't know, it's a new generation. I don't know the way how it is now. Yep. Was nice.
But Adasugi, there are people like that. And
Yeah. I think that's good. But yeah, I was just like thinking if a body can just take like too much of emotions, number one, and then it will be a little bit combination of something, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think maybe people are very different, so they might be able to handle it, I guess.
Especially with COVID, there is so much going on, and a lot of times people cannot express what's going on in this COVID situation. I think New York Times have Primal Scream, which is like a phone call system where you can just call and scream for 1 minute. You can pretty much do anything. You can scream, cry, laugh, pretty much anything for like 1 minute, and no judgments, nothing. They just have that because they understand a person can be feeling anything at a uncertain time like this. So அதை வந்து அவங்க like கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. But yeah, some people can point what they are feeling, some people cannot point what they are feeling. அதுவும் இருக்கு. And yeah, humans are just complex. Human beings are complex with kind of emotions.
Yep.
Rationally bounded.
What?
Humans are bounded rationally, you know. You can't express all the time.
So the next one I want to read. This one's from summer chapter. This one's also from COVID times. Sorry for the disclaimer, but I had to say it. All right. Tamil one. It's on page 86 if someone has the book now. Page 86, it's titled My Language. En puyal unnai ulukkavillayadi. இந்த மயான அமைதி உன்னை உருக்கவில்லையடி. என் புயல் உன்னை உலுக்கவில்லையடி. இந்த மயான அமைதி உன்னை உருக்கவில்லையடி. என் வார்த்தைகள் மட்டும் சங்கடம் ஆனதோடி. உணர்ச்சி இல்லா உன் உலகில். என் வார்த்தைகள் மட்டும் சங்கடம் ஆனதோடி. உணர்ச்சிகள் இல்லா உன் உலகில். என் கண்ணீர் தெரியா உன் விழிகளில். என் சிரிப்பு மட்டும் பொறாமை உணர்த்தியதோ. என் கண்ணீர் தெரியா உன் விழிகளில். என் சிரிப்பு மட்டும் பொறாமை உணர்த்தியதோ. முகமூடி அணிவேனடி கொரோனாவிற்கில்லை. முகமூடி அணிவேனடி கொரோனாவிற்கில்லை. என் கண் பேசும் மொழிகள் புரியா உனக்கு. என் உதடுகள் பேசும் கதைகள் தேவையோ. And now the English one. You say my storm did not move you, that my silence never haunted you. You say my storm did not move you, that my silence never haunted you. Then how could my words ever bother you when your world simply turned numb? How could my tears be invisible when my smile could make you jealous? How could my tears be invisible when my smile could make you jealous? I'll go on wearing my mask, not for corona. I'll go on wearing my mask, not for corona. If my eyes are a mystery, I'll save the linguistic drama. And I'm actually closing my book there. If you guys have any questions, comments, shoot them now, and அப்படியே நம்ம wrap up பண்ணுவோம்.
The last one was really beautiful. I think it's partially true for everybody, I guess. When you are not accepted in a certain dimension, you know, you start ஒருத்தரோட நான் பேச ஆரம்பிப்பேன். அப்புறம் கொஞ்ச நாள் like you go through phases இல்ல. ஒரு 6 மாசம் கழிச்சு you try to kind of become a little closer, but you understand that the person is not accepting, and then you start wearing that mask. So it happens at every stage. One feedback that I had was I could relate to the books at several levels, and it also gave me a little bit of idea as to இப்ப generation எப்படி எவ்வளவு பாவம். Like I should say, like எங்க அம்மா ஜெனரேஷன்லாம் வந்து I think life was a little bit more straightforward in the sense that அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ரொம்பலாம் ஃபீல் பண்றதுக்கெல்லாம் maybe they were not expressive, but this book was kind of like okay, it had a bundle of emotions, and I think you stayed true to your feelings. That's the best comment I can give. I thought it was amazing in that aspect, and I appreciate you for your literacy. You know that, right?
Thank you.
Good job.
Yep, I wanted to keep it pretty raw, so that's what's on the description too. I wanted to keep the book as raw as it can be. There is a lot of emotions, but yeah, thank you. I really like that you can relate to some of them. As a writer, I guess that's my biggest feedback that I can get. That's the biggest achievement that I can get, like that someone out there can relate to some of these. They can understand some of the parts that I'm saying. Yep. Thank you though.
It was really nice, Kamachi.
Thanks for
Keep writing.
Yep, kandipa.